Meanwhile, Sun International has announced that long-serving CEO Anthony Leeming will retire at the end of December 2025. This following 26 years with the group, Leeming will step down from his leadership role on the 1st of July 2025, but will remain with the company until the end of the year to assist with the transition process. He joins us now for greater perspective on the move. Thank you so much for your time, Anthony. 8 years at the helm. Would you say that Sun International has undergone an evolution during your time in leadership?
I think so. I think we've had to look back and change a lot of things. When I took over just pre-COVID, we had a lot of debt. We're in quite a lot of financial difficulty, just opening Times Square with our LATAM operations. And just when we started getting that right, we went through COVID and we had to then relook at our business again, reshape it. And then the gaming landscape's changed so much with online growth. Coming out of COVID, we really had to relook at ourselves and say, how do we navigate this landscape? And I think we've managed to achieve that.
Yeah. What's actually kept you up at night for a lot of nights in these 8 years, whether it's in the macro economy or challenges within the business itself?
I think it's been a collective of things over the years. I mean, as I say, it started with a lot of debt, COVID, the macro environments, where the country's going and how we change it and how we evolve. And I think, we're always looking for this growth spurt and we want it to come and it just doesn't seem to be materializing. So, we always wanting more, and I think South Africa's got so much more to give, and hopefully the future will hold a lot more for South Africa.
A very, very strong resume from the person that will be taking over from you, Ulrich. Of course, he'll be coming in, hopefully if everything goes well with his documentation on the 1st of July 2025. He has a very, very strong background in gaming. Is this a signal of Sun International undergoing a new phase of transformation?
I think we've been on that journey for a while. When you look at Sun International, people obviously think about us as a hospitality company, primarily due to Sun City and the Table Day. And these are cornerstone assets, and they really are a bit of the culture and the DNA of Sun International. But primarily, most of our revenue comes from gaming. And the way the gaming landscape's going with the growth in online, I think it's key that we position ourselves as an omni-channel group. And Ulrich, I think, has that experience in terms of online, land-based as well. So ideally suited for the role and especially for the future of Sun.
Yeah, it's interesting kind of seeing this transition where gaming now is really forming the core of group revenues. And I'm wondering if that's also just a protective mechanism from Sun International from the kind of embedded cyclicality that does exist when it comes to the hospitality and conferencing divisions.
It's ironic if you look back over the last few years, and I think coming out of COVID, the first to bounce back was probably hospitality, and conferencing business boomed, local tourism boomed, and we did exceptionally well on that side. And obviously the online space having boomed as well. So we had to pivot ourselves from land-based urban casinos primarily to also growing in the online space. And that, I think the group's done really well, leveraging the assets we have, such as Sun City. And so I keep using this term omni-channel, but it's never a true word said when you look at Sun and where we've come from and how we've had to pivot. So, I think it's true. We've had to, and I think that the hospitality revenue, I think, is at the heart of this group. It is what founded us in a way, but the gaming is really where we sort of thrive and make money. Yeah. But Sun City and these assets are very key to us.
And talking about the land-based casinos, I do understand that you have had challenges for the last while in those. And I mean, it also says in Ulrich's background that he is used to dealing with the kind of dynamics in difficult locations. And I'm wondering if this is maybe the time where some of the efforts that you have implemented already will be getting a boost in terms of making a turnaround there.
Look, I think we say difficulty. Obviously, we've had flat revenues, but our bigger properties have still done very well. They're still very popular, generating good cash. I can't really speak for Ulrich, but I'm sure he's going to try to make a big difference in these areas, and I think he's well capable of doing so. So we're quite excited as a group. I think they found the right leader, have engaged with him. and very confident he can take the group forward.
Well, talking about land-based assets, let's look at Piedmont, because I mean this transitions happens at a time with heightened regulatory hurdles. We know that the Competition Commission has recommended to the tribunal that the acquisition of Piedmont by Sun International be rejected. Talk to me about just Sun International's, I guess, transformation, what it looks like with or without Piedmont.
Look, I think Piedmont and the prize assets is obviously Empress. I think Sun International focus is obviously on the bigger properties. I think that's where most of the revenue comes. And Empress is a fantastic asset that fits very well into the group's portfolio in terms of key assets, linking up with Sun City, linking up with Times Square, as well as Grand West. So we're really excited about the prospects. I know it's a large land-based urban casino, but still one that does exceptionally well and is a very popular destination for people on the East Rand.
And just lastly, before we get to your parting words, I mean, just as we're talking about an acquisition that Sun International wants to make, are there any other unique opportunities that Sun International sees? Is the acquisition runway long?
I wouldn't say it's long. I think it's more organic growth. I think, in the online space, possibly one or two. And certainly we see great prospects in Africa and a lot of the neighboring countries. We just launched in Botswana. And I think on the local side, we're still relatively small compared to some of the big guys. And we see fantastic with our brand and our ability and our assets of actually growing our online presence and growing market share significantly. And that's really where we're looking to grow.
Well, parting words there, Anthony, as you are gearing up to leave Sun International after 8 years at the helm, 26 years as the company. What can we look forward from you from here on out?
Yeah, look, firstly, just thanks to all the people of Sun International. It's the most rewarding career one could ever hope for. I think I've had a fantastic leadership team, fantastic people at Sun, and really it's made sure that I've made a reasonable success of my time here. Looking forward, I think more time with the family. I'm not making any hard decisions right now, and a lot more golf. So really looking forward to the future.
See you at the golf course and at the beach. Thank you so much for your time and really just giving us insight into your time at Sun International as Anthony Leeming is gearing up to leave the CEO position in July this year. That was Anthony Leeming, outgoing CEO of Sun International.